October 26, 9:45 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Were you able to sleep last night?
Huh? Oh, sleep. Sure I slept. For a grand total of 0 hours.
Guten Morgen, you two. You look like you're ready to put on a real show. But before you do, I have a good luck gift for you. The voice print analysis came back and the results couldn't be more clear. The voice in the mock trial video and the tape recording are one and the same.
In other words, the recording's a fabrication. Yep, it is a fake.
The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased.
Who's there? Wait.
Did you see who it was?
No, I got a quick look, but they got away.
I think it might have been Hugh.
I bet he was eavesdropping.
I wonder if he saw our hand.
Oh, I'm sure he wasn't the only one just now. I bet Robert and Boxcar were listening in too. I will make sure they don't make a run for it. That is my final gift to you.
Okay, all that's left now is to reach out to the truth.
Time for a mini Chords of Steel workout.
I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
Your turn.
I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine!
October 26, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 4.
All rise. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The Sykes Brigade's totally psyched. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready as well. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Blackwell? Yes, well, moving right along. Yesterday's adjournment was unexpected yet necessary. But I'll be running a tight ship here today, so no funny business from anybody. Understood? Your baldness, Robin Newman and Hugh O'Connor have recanted their confessions. But later, I shall grill them at leisure to find whether I can charge them with perjury. Well, this sure complicates matters. Still, one must not overlook the facts. Now about the school camera photo that was submitted yesterday. A pity, but that evidence is no longer relevant to this case. The art room clock runs fast. It cannot function as an accurate measure of time. As for the bungling detective who overlooked that, he is paying for his failure as we speak.
Poor Detective Fulbright. I hope he returns to work with all his body parts intact.
Reminds me of Gumshoe. But if that's the case, then what will we... The accused is the sole person who could have moved the body from art room to stage. And I mean to prove it here this day.
It's just like Detective Fulbright said. But what else does he have up his sleeve?
My understanding of his heinous crime is thus. The murder took place near the center of the art room, as evidenced by the bloodstain. Blood was also found on some pottery next to the window over the maintenance area, which is to say the body was carried over to that very window. From there, it was dropped down to the maintenance area below, and though there was nary a scratch of the body aside from the fatal wound, that too was per the script. A high jump mat was employed to cushion the fall. Then a ball cart was used to haul the body over to the stage.
That's not very clever. It's the same exact body moving scene as the script. Anyone could have moved the body that way.
Objection!
Your propensity to spew forth words before you think is not very clever either.
Why, you?
Moreover, the prosecution has a witness, which is most unfortunate for you. Witness, it's time for you to come forth. Well then, will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Hugh O'Connor. I'm a senior at Themis Law Legal Academy, and I'm studying to be a lawyer. Yesterday I told that lawyer there I would testify to the truth. So I intend to cooperate fully in tomorrow's trial. Happy now, Miss Sykes?
What's he up to now?
The court appreciates your cooperation, Mr. O'Connor. Now your testimony, please.
Witness testimony. What O'Connor saw. Sorry, I was a bit distracted. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. She was heading towards me, so I assumed she was on her way to the maintenance area. But I didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that. The real truth hurts so much, doesn't it, Miss Sykes? Or maybe you thought I was going to bring up something else entirely against your client.
Ugh, never a snappy comeback when I need one.
He's coming straight at us today using any means possible. To protect the students who had to climb up high when setting up the stage, a mat was brought over to the stage from the storehouse.
Our client is the student council president. What's wrong with her taking it upon herself to put the mat away after they use it?
Objection!
Oh, there is plenty wrong. There has been one mat in the entire school that could cushion a fall from such lofty heights. Ergo, the mat in question was indispensable to moving the body.
Ah! It sucks being the last to know everything.
I think I get it now. The drag marks we saw behind the stage were made by the mat. If the only mat of that thickness was where the body is assumed to have been dropped, it would be hard to deny a possible link to this case. We're off to a bad start again. You sure you're okay, Athena?
It's game on, Hugh. Game on.
I'm gonna turn your
Arrogant perfect score grin into a teary-eyed frown of failure.
Fine by us. Let's do it. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and maintenance area. If you were, then how do you explain this?
Objection!
So, you
Saw the back of the stage from between the stage and the maintenance area? Well, let's take a look at this photo taken by Miss Scuttlebutt, shall we? This photo shows the students setting up the stage the day before the mock trial. Do you see the big construction screen on the right of the stage in the background here?
Why, yes. In fact, there were a bunch of those next to my house until a few days ago, too. It was so noisy behind there, but I couldn't take a peek. Oh, how it piqued my interest.
Exactly, Your Honor. You cannot see past such screens. That is their purpose. Now, let's see. How exactly is that screen positioned again? Aha! Since it was to the right of the stage, it should be right here. And from this vantage point, the witness claims to have seen our client behind the stage backdrop.
Oh my, but the screen would have been completely in the way.
That's right. Therefore, the witness couldn't have possibly seen our client from this point.
Ugh. Ouch! Order! Order! Mr. O'Connor, have you been lying to this court? The screen. Right. It must have slipped my mind.
What? Are you telling me you, Mr. Genius, forgot something as literally big as that?
There are two kinds of memory lapses. The normal kind you mouth breathers have, and the genius level lapses of memory that people like me have.
Why don't you just admit that it was a normal everyday brain fart already?
Will the witness now please restate what he remembers, minus the lapses in memory? That's easy. I was on the other side of the screen. In other words, I witnessed Juniper from the stage side of the screen.
Objection!
You're testifying that our client was behind the stage. But need I remind this court the back of the stage is not visible from the front. To actually see our climb behind the stage from the stage side of the screen, the witness himself would also have to be in the same area behind the stage. But in that case, our client would have definitely seen Mr. O'Connor. Ouch!
Nice one, Athena. Keep it up.
Objection!
Alright, Golden Boy. Is this not your chance? Telling the truth will be like a weight lifted from your chest.
The truth? What truth?
The fact that Golden Boy here was where he initially stated. That is to say, he was between the maintenance area and the stage.
Objection!
But then the screen would have blocked his view of—
Objection!
On the ground, yes, his view would have been blocked indeed. But consider how smoke always wants to rise up high.
Athena, look at the photo again. Do you think something on the other side of the screen, something high enough to see the stage? No way! This crane right here? But I don't remember seeing a crane there on the day of the mock trial.
Me neither, but it's probably safe to assume it was moved before you found the body.
That's far enough, Prosecutor Blackwell. Remember, you promised.
I recall making no such promise. It was you who came blubbering to me about keeping quiet in exchange for information.
Ugh. What's all this about a promise? Is this about whatever Blackwell is using against him? And what's it got to do with going into the crane?
Golden Boy did not go up in that crane for fun. He was working part-time as a crane operator within school grounds.
What? Do you mean to tell me a high school student was operating a crane?
The witness! I object to the prosecutor's last statement. There's no proof I ever operated that crane.
Hold it!
Actually, there just might be something that proves you did.
What?
If this whole part-time job thing is true, I doubt it would be limited to a single day. You were probably working at the same site the previous day, too.
Is this what you're thinking of, Athena?
Yup, as the court can see, this photo captured the crane's operator. And if you look carefully, he bears a definitive resemblance to Mr. O'Connor.
Are you serious? This is ridiculous. How very interesting. Let's ascertain whether this is ridiculous as the witness maintains.
The defense agrees with the prosecution. Let's bring the facts to light.
That's all very well and good, but just how do you propose to do that?
The person in this photo has one really distinguishing feature. I'm not 100% sure, but it's at least worth a try. We can clearly identify the person in this photo as a witness by examining his neck. The figure in this photo is wearing a very unique object around his neck.
Why, yes, you can see it right there. But then, are you saying you mean to...
Mr. O'Connor's neck is almost entirely concealed by his tail collar. But that's exactly why I believe this warrants further examination.
No! Not a chance! That would be a blatant violation of my privacy! You are a disgrace of a man. Now stand, art unbuttoning that collar before I hack it off.
Yeah, what's the big deal? Now let's see your neck.
Guess I have no choice. Oh my.
So where did you buy that neckband, if I might ask?
I didn't buy it. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world.
Well, it sure looks like the neckband in this photo. Should we have the photo analyzed?
You're one irritating lady. Fine, I'll admit it. I work a part-time construction job. It has nothing to do with our school. Operating heavy equipment's no big deal for a guy who can parallel park one-handed. but I never expected one of my jobs would take me to my own school.
But when you factor in all of the required tests and apprenticeship period, wouldn't you have to be at least 20 to have a license for operating a crane?
Oh, about that. You see, I'm a genius, so, you know.
Objection!
That may be a lie. Let us dispense with this inane charade, Golden Boy. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, please. High school seniors are 19 at most. Thus, they fail to complete the requirements. But that does not apply to you, does it, Mr. O'Connor?
Why doesn't it apply? He's a senior, so he's around that age, right?
No, don't, please! Actually, Golden Boy here is 25. He took a 7-year break from school.
Wait, come again?
Take a gander at the official school enrollment documentation. This is all right here.
Ah! Ouch! 25? You mean he's older than me?
A 25-year-old high school student?
A 7-year break? 7 years.
I've just one thing to say. There are two kinds of 7-year breaks. The ordinary kind you mouth breathers take, and the genius kind people like me take.
Shut up, Hugh!
Objection!
But a genius would quickly become a chore for a 7-year break.
I think you have that backwards, Athena. Even geniuses make mistakes. I just happened to make mine only 7 years in a row.
Only Hugh could get away with using only like that.
Enough of this jibber-jabber. Suffice to say, the witness was up in the crane when he saw the accused dragging the mat. The accused readied all she needed to move the body immediately prior to doing so. That much is clear. I see no need to deliberate the matter further.
Considering that the body was moved in the same manner as in the script, I find Prosecutor Blackwell's claim to be quite persuasive.
Does the defense care to dissuade me?
As long as a mat was used to move the body, Junie's going to be under suspicion.
Athena, I just thought of something. What was Hugh doing in the crane right before the mock trial? He couldn't have been on the job at the time. I mean, he was waiting for the trial to start.
Yeah, why was he in the crane? Wait, you don't think... Your Honor.
Yes, Miss Sykes?
I've got it. I've got an amazing idea that'll turn the prosecution's claim on its head. A little conjecture's never stopped us before.
Interesting.
Mr. O'Connor, you were using the crane to move the body. The body was just like it was in the script, so it must have been moved like in the script too. At least that's what the prosecution believes. How simplistic, even foolish.
Those are pretty strong words, Athena. You sure about this?
The witness is a licensed crane operator, so he could have used it to move the body.
Objection!
Well, Golden Boy, care to chime in? I intend to say no more on the matter, save that this does not bode well for you.
Wait, he's on my side this time? Or is this another trap?
Watch this. I can use a bow and arrow one-handed.
Wow, that's a crazy level of dexterity.
I can even drive a crane with one hand. That's easy. But operating the crane itself is so complex it requires both hands. Now, I would have the court look at this.
Oh, please tell me that's a ketchup stain.
You wish. My hand was injured and required surgery. That's the reason I kept my hand in my pocket all this time. I have already verified this with a hospital of treatment. Quite a nasty wound, they say.
So, how did you hurt it?
I see no need to discuss that. It has no relevance to this case. 2 hands are required to operate complex machinery such as a crane. Ergo, on the day of the mock trial, the witness was incapable of moving the body by crane.
Now I'm the fool!
I'd planned on moving the crane the night before the mock trial, but then I got injured. Wanting to keep my part-time job a secret, I had to do it just before the mock trial instead.
And here I thought this was the big break we've been waiting for.
Now that the defense's sophistry is laid bare, I would have the court recall my claim.
A body was dropped out of a third-floor window to a mat near the maintenance area. Then a ball cart was used to move it to the stage. See? I've been paying attention.
Well done, your baldness. Now consider this. The accused was sighted dragging the mat. Ergo, it was she who moved the body.
Well, I think you were on the right track, Athena. You do? Yeah. Juniper remains the prime suspect if we assume the body was moved per her script. So as the defense, you have to figure out how else the body could have been moved. But... Oh, is he telling me to think of another way besides the crane?
Miss Sykes, if you have a counter-argument, this court would love to hear it.
If you do not, it is time for the verdict. Isn't that correct, your baldness?
Objection!
No, not yet. All I have to do is show that the body wasn't moved like it was in the script, right?
Well, that would show that the mat had nothing to do with his case.
There is a sort of great renown that cuts down sophistic lawyers. Its name is evidence.
You don't scare me. Force a smile, Athena. You can do it.
What's wrong with your face, Athena? It's a weird mix of terror and creepy grin. Just focus on how the body could have been moved without it being dropped.
How could anyone lower it without just dropping? It's not like it could fly. Or maybe it could. After all, there is a way to zip between the art room and the stage. Someone could have easily used that thing.
Oh yes, of course. Miss Sykes, the court would like to see what you have for us.
All I have to do is show the tiniest shred of a possibility. The mat and ball cart weren't used to move the body. This is what's used. The school banner!
Take that!
The key here is the thing that ties the art room and the stage together.
Might I propose an idea? It might do you well to tie your lips together lest you further expose your ignorance.
This isn't exactly the time for black comedy, Prosecutor Blackwell. Anyway, the court will recall the wire on which the school banner was hung. That wire was strung between the art room and the stage, which allowed students to run or reel it in the school banner from the art room. The body could have easily been lowered down the stage via this wire.
Objection!
Spare me your armchair theories. This wasn't some kind of hot wire act. The body surely would have fallen, yet there are no signs of blunt force trauma.
Objection!
Oh, you surprised me, Prosecutor Blackwell. You didn't actually think I failed to account for that.
I'm sure that's exactly what he thought.
When we investigated the stage yesterday, the bottom part of the school banner had been tied into a pouch-like shape. And pouches are useful for carrying things. What do you think this one could have carried?
Well, go on, please explain.
The body was bundled into the pouch-like section of the banner and sent down the wire. The body would have been down on that stage in a flash, and there'd be no need for a mat.
I've heard the phrase carrying the banner, but the banner doing the carry.
Objection!
I've no patience for you and your cheap parlor tricks. Your claim is as shaky as a corpse performing that absurd high wire act.
If you have an actual objection, then just come out and say it.
I trust you recall the bloodstains left on the art room pottery. If the wire had been used to move the body, it would have to be via the window above the quad, the one with the winch. However, the blood-stained pottery was next to the window above the maintenance area. Ergo, the wire and banner had not at all to do with this case.
Oh? The blood-stained pottery? I remember that.
This doesn't look good. We'll be back to the math theory if you don't do something.
Well, Miss Sykes, I hope you have something better than this time in a circus act.
If my wire theory is true, then the blood on the pottery must not have been the victim's blood. Maybe it's not the victim's blood. Did the police check to see from whom the blood on the pottery came from?
Shame on you, Sykes Dono. Have a little more respect for the constabulary.
Oh my god.
Foolbright!
Looks like they didn't check it.
Ha! Don't let it get you now, Prosecutor Blackwell. Everyone makes mistakes.
Spare me your cheek. We will know not either way till the tests are run.
True, but in the meantime, I'm gonna press my claim as far as I can.
Your boldness. I demand that the blood on the pottery be analyzed this instant. Of course, it shouldn't take long to get the results back. Oh my, that was quick.
We're history if it turns out to be the victim's blood. Please let it be someone else's.
It seems the blood was not from the victim. What? Furthermore, a comparison with other parties involved with this case reveals that the blood belongs to one Hugh O'Connor. Score!
Don't worry, Junie. Just try to relax. Hugh's hands. His hands were dripping with blood. Your Honor, as we saw earlier, the witness's left hand had suffered a serious injury. He sustained the wound in a struggle with the victim, and his blood got on the pottery. Then Junie saw his blood-stained hands as they passed each other in the first-floor hall. It's the only explanation that covers everything.
Objection! There is but one way now to turn aside her blade, but do not cast the blame on me. Your grudge is with Sykes Dono, for it is she who forces me to expose your secret.
Fine, whatever. Wow, how much dirt does he have on Hugh?
The court will observe this odd-looking envelope. It was inside this that Miriam Scuttlebutt's script was found.
Miss Scuttlebutt's... But didn't the prosecution already claim that this envelope is the one that contained her script?
Circumstances have changed. You see, Golden Boy had hidden this from us all. Let's see here. My word, talk about the world's most painful paper cut. Indeed, you can clearly see that if this envelope is not opened correctly, a powerful spring-loaded blade will shoot forth, leaving a horrible gash upon the hand. The only one who had been told of the correct way to open it was Constance Court.
You really want to see my script that bad? Well, you better watch out. Read it without my permission and you'll wish you had it. Yikes! Miriam wasn't kidding when she said that.
The blood on the blade is the witnesses. Our genius here tried to sneak a peek at the wrong script and paid for his foolishness.
Ouch! This guy's the worst genius I've ever seen.
Don't worry, Athena. The wound isn't that deep. We still got the wire theory.
Yeah, I've got it. Since the blood by the window overlooking the maintenance area isn't the victim's, there's no longer any basis for denying the body was moved using the wire and banner. Therefore, the defense once again asserts just that.
You call yourself a lawyer? Don't you see the glaring contradiction in your thinking?
Huh?
The court would like to remind the witness that his role is not to point out.
And you? How can you adhere to such outdated beliefs? But whatever. It seems you've forgotten the two statues that were on stage directly below the wire. A body sent sliding down that wire would have crashed into him. Care to explain that away?
Why, I believe he's right. The statues and the wire are extremely close together.
Ugh. So the body would have collided with the statues. What if they did collide? Wait, that's it! Speaking of those statues, we still don't know how they were broken. But if we assume the body crashed into them, that would also explain the loud sound we heard while we were in the waiting room.
Oh, now that you mentioned it, you and Mr. Wright went out to the stage after you heard that sound, correct?
Objection!
Interesting. How very interesting. But may I ask just one question? When was it that you heard said sound?
It was a little after the mock trial had started. Mr. Wright and I were practically bored to tears there in the waiting room when... Ah!
Precisely. If that sound you heard did happen while the body was being moved, that would place it during the mock trial.
Oof! Which means the body wouldn't have been there before the mock trial started!
You see, right before the mock trial started, I saw the body.
He said he saw the body before the mock trial. If so, then my claim that the body was moved during the mock trial doesn't hold water! Stupid contradiction! It's gonna get me and our case killed!
The focus was on just 3 suspects because the body was moved before the mock trial. That has been the major premise thus far. Your assertion, therefore, contradicts the very foundation of this case.
Objection!
Both sides still lack incontrovertible evidence. So should we not also treat Golden Boy's testimony with some level of suspicion?
Good point.
Ah! Prosecutor Blackwell is on our side!
I bet he's figured out the truth behind this case. Well, great, as long as he's not up to something else.
If the statues really were broken when the body hit them, then Hugh's statement about seeing the body before the mock trial is a big fat lie. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's get to the bottom of this contradiction about when you saw the body. Look me straight in the eyes and repeat your statement to me.
Like I said before the mock trial, the body was, I shall only say this once, Golden Boy. You had best tell the truth and do it now. That is, if your head wishes to enjoy the continued companionship of your body.
Yikes! Ow!
Now, out with it. Did you truly witness the body?
Or were you just lying about it? Well, which is it?
You what? I never saw the body.
Are you sure about that? Lie to this court again and I'll charge you with perjury.
There was no body on that stage. I've been lying about that this whole time. I'm sorry.
Yes! We've exposed Hugh's big lie for what it is. But why would he lie about this to begin with?
Order! The base premise that the body was moved before the mock trial has been overturned. I imagine this has an impact on both the defense and the prosecution's case.
Well, first I'd like to thank the prosecutor. This brings us one step closer to the truth. Now at least we know the body was moved using the wire and skull banner.
Indeed. That much I shall concede, Sykes-Dono. The body was moved as you stated and in the midst of the mock trial.
So both sides are satisfied then?
If the body was moved before the mock trial, we have our 3 suspects. But if the move took place in the midst of the mock trial, it is an entirely different story.
Right. All 3 suspects were in the mock trial. That gives them solid alibi.
Objection!
How simplistic. Did you forget about the student in charge of the audio? Amidst the mock trial, she was the one soul who could leave and re-enter the lecture hall.
What's this? Who is this person in charge of the audio?
Oh no! How can I forget? It was... Hey, what's the deal here? Why is Junie so large in the shot? Juniper was also in charge of the audio. When she wasn't in the trial, she was in the audio control room dealing with the music.
Indeed, the one who could enter the art room amidst the mock trial to move the body was none other than the accused, Juniper Woods, for she was in charge of the audio.
No!
Why, yes, I see. That does make perfect sense.
This can't be happening! Instead of exposing Hugh's crime, Junie's in even deeper! No matter how you slice it, we're cooked! And here I thought Prosecutor Blackwell was on our side, at least on this issue.
The Twisted Samurai strikes again.
Twisted? It's more like dirty rotten.
Your boldness. It is time to put an end to this farce. The prosecution has presented a quite convincing case, but the defense has one last chance to voice any remaining objections. Well, Miss Sykes?
Apollo, what are we gonna do? I've got nothing left. Nothing, nada, niente.
I've been trying to think of something, but I'm drawing a big blank too.
Ugh, poor Junie. Unless we figure out something, she'll be... Objection. Objection. Well, I object to...
Now what? Stop right there. All ears to me. It's time you heard about the rare genius of Hugh O'Connor. Listen, and you will hear the secret behind my perfect crime.
Perfect!
Crime? Well, ain't that nuts?
Wait, this is some serious deja vu. Didn't we just go through something like this yesterday?
Yes, we did. This had better not be another one of his enraging traps. The murder, the moving of the body, the cover-up, it all sprung from my brilliant mind. Well, go ahead, arrest me. The real killer's right before you.
Order, order, I say! Mr. O'Connor! You already confessed yesterday, then earlier today recanted your confession.
As if you mouth readers could comprehend my genius. The end justifies the means. Now bow down and kneel. Kneel before my great and murdering intellect!
Objection!
Enough! The only thing maddening is the ignominy you bear for all to see. For it is impossible for you to have been the perpetrator behind this crime.
Ah!
There is no perfect crime, only a perfect alibi, for you were at the mock trial. And it is silly that I must remind you of this, but you were a participant the entire time. There shall be no mercy if you persist in hindering this trial with your silly little act.
Hugh doesn't seem the least bit shaken by Blackwell's threat.
Listen, Mr. Prosecutor, calling that a perfect alibi is beyond contempt. Your Honor, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer further testimony. I will now demonstrate the very moment of genius that transcended even perfection. Witness testimony. Hugh's confession. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double almost did. I slipped out steadily while my double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent.
I have a question I was hoping the defense and prosecution might help answer. Is it just me, or does the witness's testimony make no sense at all?
No, it's not just you, Your Honor. All I got from listening to that was a headache.
Yeah, that was just plain weird. Especially the whole thing about a body double.
Well, I'm relieved it's not just me. And the prosecution?
Your boldness. Summon an ambulance this instant. The witness is stark, raving mad.
Yes, I think that would be for the best. Now then, let's pretend that never happened and move on to my verdict.
You people don't believe me?
It's not a matter of not believing you. It's more along the lines of questioning your sanity.
Yeah, the funny farm just called. They want their genius back. Shut your pie holes! The intellect of a genius transcends even logic. Besides, don't you guys have that weird device for testimony like this?
Objection!
Widget's not a weird device, and I don't waste them on ridiculous testimonies.
Easy there, Tiger. Think of it this way. We don't want a verdict to be passed just yet. So how about we give Widget a try?
Well, this is against my better judgment, but I'd like to conduct a short therapy session.
Your better judgment? I'm a judge, and it's far beyond mine, yet I find it hard to say no. Prosecutor Blackwell, I trust you have no objections? Prosecutor Blackwell?
The prosecutor said, rubbish, we will be on a stroll. Then left with Detective Fulbright.
What the hell? How does he get away with stuff like that?
Then I'll interpret that as a meaning he has no explicit objections. All right, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your therapy session.
I've seen my share of crazy trials, but this one takes the cake. Yes, it does. All right. Mood Matrix System, online.
What the hell's going on?
Too much happiness. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double did. I slipped out stealthily when my double took care of the trial. I have the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent.
Innocent, you say, huh?
I don't believe it.
Got it!
Mr. O'Connor, yesterday you said that you didn't really care about Miss Woods anymore. I already told Juniper, so I may as well tell you. I don't really care about her anymore. What? Why? Yeah, well, Juniper reported my secret to Professor Court. His secret? Oh, the bribe. She wanted nothing to do with me because I had disappointed her. That's why I don't care about her anymore. I was never trying to protect her. My confession was always about one thing and one thing only, the truth.
Objection!
Mr. O'Connor, you feel great happiness in the fact that you might help set Miss Woods free. So much so that it overshadowed all of your other emotions. What are you? I can hear it clearly now, Mr. O'Connor, the discord you've been trying to suppress. People don't normally feel like you do when you confess. So Hugh really was trying to protect Juniper. Yes, I'm sure of it. Hugh's feelings for her are the real deal.
Noise level down to 90%.
But that means his confession is... Finally figured out the obvious, have we?
Why, Prosecutor Blackwell, you're back!
The confession was naught but lies, save for the part about being the mock trial. Can we all agree now that the killer is the one in charge of the audio, i.e. the accused? Yeah! Why couldn't you have taken a longer stroll? No, you haven't unraveled the genius of my body double trick yet. You can't be serious. Do you really expect us to believe you had a body double? Yes, I do. But if you think I did it, then prove it. Either we quit here and Juniper is found guilty, or we play along with Hugh's delusion. Let's go with the least worst choice, but first let me update his testimony. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double did. Wait a minute. No emotions. What if I'm proven right?
Got it!
I didn't almost lose, you say. Very odd. You exhibited happiness the entire time except during the statement. You don't know when to give up. Wait, now that I think about it. No, don't. Stop making stuff up. When I left the lecture hall, it was during Prosecutor Means' pre-trial speech. That's when I moved the body. I then slipped back in just before the verdict. So you're saying you were there the moment your double was about to lose? Yes, I was. Naturally, I wasn't happy when I saw that. In any case, I was at the far end of the lecture hall behind the screen. I figured no one would see me if I came and went through the doors there.
Objection!
Sykes don't know. How much longer will you indulge him in this charade? While it's true that none in the audience might see him go through either of those doors, the faculty seats on the balconies are a different story and have a splendid view. I thought you could do better than that. The lawyer's bench is on the right side when facing the front of the hall. I use the door on the right side near the lawyer's bench. That means my movements were only visible to someone in the left balcony seat, but that seat was empty at the time, which is only natural. After all, it belonged to Professor Cord, and as we all know, she was already dead by then.
That can't be right. An empty balcony seat on the left side of the contradicts this piece of evidence.
You're right. We need to show the lecture hall diagram.
I have no idea where this contradiction is going, but I don't have any other moves at this point. Guess I'll just have to follow it and see where it takes me. You said the left balcony seat was empty, but was it really?
I saw it with my own eyes. It was definitely empty.
But what about this diagram? According to this, Prosecutor Means was supposed to be seated in the left balcony seat. But if you left the lecture hall during his pretrial speech, he would have been standing there at his seat addressing the students and faculty.
Yeah! No, this can't be right.
Noise level down to 80%.
You do no one any favors by exposing the falsities of his confession. I've told plenty of lies so far, but this part is true, I tell you. There was nobody in the left balcony seat. You gotta believe me.
It doesn't seem like he's lying this time. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's have you testify again, but this time don't spare any details.
You got it. I'll repeat it as many times as you like. I mean, my ingenious escape act warrants repeating, considering I'm the real killer.
All I really care about is whether that seat was empty or not.
The second floor was deserted. Why won't you believe me? It's true, I tell you. I went out the back door without anyone noticing. Then all I had to do was go through the empty audio control room. Sadness. Profound sadness.
I detected powerful sadness and fear right after you said this part. As if you said something you shouldn't have.
What's wrong with you? You shouldn't reveal a person's inner feelings for all to see.
Mr. O'Connor, it's you who is revealing your inner emotions by the way you speak. Plus, I have a good idea about why you're feeling sad.
You're a horrible person. Can't you just let me be?
You said that you went through the empty audio control room. But that's not true, is it? There was someone who returned from there once Prosecutor Means finished his speech. And that someone who was in the audio control room was Juniper Woods.
Take that!
I know you realized there was a problem with your statement as you were saying it. That's why you felt so uneasy. If the audio control room really was empty, that would mean Miss Woods was roaming around the campus. Mr. O'Connor, if you really want to protect Miss Woods, just tell the truth. If you believe in her, revealing the truth is the same as protecting her.
Juniper's innocent. That's the truth. But in this dark age of the law, the truth can be easily twisted to serve anyone's needs. When the end justifies the means, your only choice is to fight back with lies.
Hugh's heart won't hold out on this battle between truth and lies. Is there something I can do to make him recant his false testimony?
I fear nothing now that I've lost everything. Go ahead, Prosecutor Blackwell. Cut me down if you wish. I thought you never asked. With you gone, we may swiftly proceed to a verdict. Yeah! Not again! Oh no! He broke out of his shackles again! I don't want to be the poor accountant down at the detention center. Hugh O'Connor, in deference to your valor, I will limit your suffering with one clean blow. Wait a sec! Could you wait just one moment before you cut him down? Silence. Do not come between a samurai and his foe, Sykes Dono.
Yeah! I never learned about this in law school.
Careful, prosecutor. Remember that shocking experience you had last time? Very well. Golden Boy may live. For now.
Enough already, Mr. O'Connor. Miss Woods would never want you to protect her this way. She values the friendship between the three of you more than anything.
That's where you're wrong.
She doesn't feel anything for me now. But what does it matter anymore? I might as well tell you everything. This is no doubt news to you, but I am not and never was a genius.
Sorry, but I already knew.
Me too.
And don't forget me, though in all fairness, it was pretty obvious.
I thought he was a genius at first, but
the stuff he said was crazy. Ugh. No need to rub it in. Just shut up and listen. It all started several days ago. I accidentally learned that my parents have been paying good money for my grades.
But that's bribery.
So the bribery wasn't Hugh's idea.
And knowing Sebastian the best, the same thing happened with his dad. All of my perfect scores were the product of cold hard cash, not genius. Even worse, when I confronted my parents about it over the phone, Juniper overheard me.
Oh my, what a terrible misunderstanding.
I've been living a lie. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm no genius. I'm completely worthless.
A perfect 0.
Hugh.
Even so, I still wanted to make it up to Juniper for disappointing her like that. That's why I wanted to clear her name by pinning the blame on me. I mean, she probably hates me now, so it'd be a relief for her to see me locked away. If you were trying to help her, then why did you testify against her? You were the ones who told me to tell the truth yesterday, so I thought if I did, it would help her.
He wasn't trying to provoke us?
It looks like we seriously misunderstood him, in more ways than one.
At the detention center yesterday, Junie was in tears when she opened up to me. But the truth is, the friendship between the three of them is still rock solid. If there were something that could help me prove that to Hugh.
We even have proof of our friendship. Yeah! As long as our friendship lasts, you can bet we'll be carrying them around.
I know. What about that proof of friendship they mentioned? I wonder where or what it is. I didn't buy it.
It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world.
Maybe it's... No, that's definitely it. That band around his neck. Mr. O'Connor, that band around your neck. That's your proof of friendship, isn't it?
Proof of friendship? Is that anything like a proof of purchase barcode?
In court, evidence is everything. That's why the three friends created friendship bands. It's the evidence that proves their friendship.
Oh, how very interesting. And chic.
If they have doubts about their friendship, they can look to the proof they have on hand. That's why Mr. O'Connor's hand always goes to his neck when he is pressured. It proves he still has feelings of friendship toward the other two.
It doesn't matter if I wear it if those two...
Objection!
But they feel the same way too. I know they wear their friendship bands somewhere. Junie and Robin must both feel the same as Hugh. I just know it. Everything Hugh has said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may have also just told that the others were their proof of friendship, when they're easy to touch. All we have to do is think back to their testimonies. Ready? Miss Newman holds her arm when pressured. And Miss Woods holds her wrist. I know Miss Woods very well. She would never abandon her friendship with you over something like this. And taking the blame for her will only succeed in making her terribly sad.
Oh. Robin, those bands of friendship that you made, just for the three of us. You may have forgotten about them, but not me.
Hugh! Hey, Hugh!
And to think, I should have known better than to doubt my best friends.
I didn't kill anyone. And I didn't have a body double. I didn't move the body. I didn't even see it. And it may look like I'm speed reading Zen and the Art of Mastering the Bar exam. But I haven't read a single word.
Well, you could have fooled me. In fact, you did.
Hugh. So, Miss Sykes, can I place my trust in you? I'm going to save Junie. So yes, you can place your trust in me.
And am I to understand that the witness is recanting his confession?
Yes.
A most roundabout trial. I much prefer the turnabout variety myself. Now we are back to the fact that there was but one suspect who lacked an alibi, which is in the end, the truth you've been seeking this entire time.
So we're back to square one? Now I'm exhausted and depressed. It probably doesn't matter at this point, but I might as well update the mood matrix. Huh? Does this mean...
Further resistance is futile. The time for a verdict is now.
Objection!
Wait a second. Please wait.
What sort of devilry are you up to now?
What if our client wasn't the only one without an alibi? The trial would continue, right?
Well, yes, I suppose it would. But after such a thorough investigation, does such a person really exist?
Yes, we found someone. It may have seemed like a major roundabout. But Mr. O'Connor's testimony has cracked this case. There's no more noise. Hugh is telling the truth now. During the mock trial, the balcony seat opposite him really was empty, which now means there is one person unaccounted for.
Noise level dropped to 0. Mood matrix complete.
Besides Junie, the only other person without an alibi during the mock trial is Aristotle Means. The balcony seat was empty. That much is true, isn't it, Mr. O'Connor?
That's right. How many more times do I have to say it?
So basically, Professor Means wasn't where he was supposed to be during the mock trial.
Silence. Need I remind you, every last soul in the lecture hall heard him deliver his speech?
Objection!
I know, and that's not in dispute here. Now, let me explain how a speech could be given from an empty seat. It was pre-recorded. What if the speech was pre-recorded? That's the only way the speech could have been delivered from an empty balcony.
Now what?
Wait, are you accusing Professor Means? That's insane. I mean, he's the one who gave me the tape recorder. Take this to the police, he said, and tell them you found it. What? Really? Wait a second. Mr. O'Connor, did you just say that Professor Means gave that phony recording to you?
Phony? The defense will refrain from hurling unsubstantiated allegations.
Well, I said he gave it to me, but what do you mean it's phony? Wow, who could have seen this development? Tape recorder updated again! The voice shouting, "You're O'Connor," as recorded on this tape, was dubbed onto it using a line our client said in the mock trial video.
Why this? This is an extremely crucial piece of evidence.
Professor Means gave Hugh the phony tape. If that's really true, then Professor Means has guilt written all over him. Your Honor, the defense moves to call Professor Aristotle Means to the stand.
Silence. The seat was never empty. 'Twas but an oversight by our dullard of a witness. An inmate who was formerly a surgeon once told me something. He said it's often all too easy to overlook critical symptoms.
Objection!
Well, we're not gonna overlook this oversight. If the speech was pre-recorded, the basis for suspecting our client would be shattered. Let's check with Professor Means and see whether the empty seat was a witness oversight. A verdict without first looking into that would be inconceivable.
That's enough, both of you. Now, here's my opinion on the matter. While a surgeon overlooking critical symptoms is a problem, a witness's oversight too must not be overlooked. Thus, as to the matter of whether Professor Means was or was not in his faculty seat, I believe we must ask the professor himself.
I agree. Professor Means should be here in the gallery today.
Do as you please.